Hello. So in the previous video that I made, I suggested about a throat maintenance exercise, yeah, by movementless yoga. Um, there may be a thought of movementless yoga being energy practice, but when we consider that matter and energy are related and that we are working with matter, not with energy. Okay, they're both related, but I will just do the exercise and try following along and see how that makes a difference in how you're experiencing health, how you're experiencing the region of your throat. So popularly, Ujjayi pranayama may have been practiced as about the region of the epiglottis. You constrict your throat and then let out a gentle hiss sound. Yeah, and that has a certain cooling effect, and that has certain other benefits too. In this practice, in movementless yoga, taking care of your throat is done slightly differently. We pay attention to the anatomy, but not in terms of the epiglottis. We pay attention to the tissues around the front of the throat. And we pay attention to about the region where the tongue is meeting the throat at the hyoid bone. Yeah. So I invite you to bring your attention to your throat and notice about the region. Notice the region in front of your neck, which is right from your chin all the way to your collarbone. Okay? And notice any muscle tension inside your throat and outside your throat. Yeah? So about the region of your neck, outside the front portion of your neck, and inside the front portion of your neck. So we are not approaching the spine area, the neck, spine, cervical spine area. You're only paying attention to front of the throat, yeah, and to the sides of your neck. Okay, this is about the region of the trapezius, but you're paying attention to the sides of your neck and noticing again the tension of your muscles. Now, why do I mention muscles here is when there is, for example, thyroid concerns or your voice box concerns, which usually happens when there is, say, you're not voicing out as much as you need to. Maybe you're not singing. Maybe you're not talking as much. Or you hold in stuff for longer rather than in some way finding a vocal expression. Now you could write, you could paint, you could cook, you could some way find expression. But that's not this, that has a certain benefit in the sense what you couldn't voice out, you're finding a way to express. So that might bring some relief. Yeah. So you found a way to voice your concerns without using voice. I'm repeating myself. But that also could have benefits, tends to have benefits in the region of your chest because emotions are said to be held above the region of your chest, heart, lungs, because if you're not expressing as much, your lungs could go a little constricted like that. And from holding in stuff, your lungs may not be breathing as well as they need to. Yeah. And that could have other effects. When your muscles are not functioning as, your lungs are not functioning as much, your diaphragm may not be functioning as much because these two are related. And that has a certain cascade. Things get a little more tighter the more you less express. But having said that, expression is sometimes more related with the region of the throat. So the idea of the Nilakantha, yeah, also comes from holding in the Visha. during Samudra Manthan, or basically the daily churns of everyday living. And when those concerns are not voiced out or are held in, that shows up as muscle tension, could also show up as thyroid concerns, could show up as just a certain pain. Yeah, your muscles are in some way thick. Yeah, around the region of your hyoid bone, around the region of your neck, about the left and right sides. Yeah, they go a little thick, and you may not know the pain that's there unless you actually pay attention to the region, to the muscles in that region. Yeah, the tissues may seem thicker from the chemical composition, biochemical, biochemical composition changing slightly to accommodate for unexpressed tissue memories, maybe. Could also be, they say even water has memory. So our different parts of our body, at least 60% of our, 60 to 70% is water. But every cell has water, protoplasm, yeah? Functions by liquid. So much percentage of our body, 4 to 5 liters of our body is blood, which is again liquid. So water has memory. And the memory, tissue memory, may also be held in the water aspect, liquid aspects of our body. Now, having said that, there are several experiments talking about how water has memory. Yeah. So in our own body, the story of our life is held by tissues: earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space. I regard there to be 6 elements. And the story of our life is in some way encrypted in all of these different elements. Yeah. Like held together. And together forms the story, the weave, the physiological, anatomical make of our body, and also the choices we make versus don't make because of the stories held as to how life is and what life can be and what we can do and whom we can contact. And yeah, all of that is in some way held in. They also form a certain doorway gateway, yeah, but they're also there in the weave of our breaths. There are at least 10 metabolic processes, but vayus, they say, yeah. But they are also held in by the breath, the air element, so to speak, or the metabolic processes. And consequently, we could be having lifestyle diseases, metabolic challenges causing lifestyle diseases. Now, in the region of the throat, the tissues, noticing the health of the region of your throat requires for you to pay attention to any sense of softness about your neck. Now, this may seem repetitive in several of the videos that I've made, but getting in touch with warmth, softness, and moisture is a fine, easy way by which to notice the texture of your tissues, by which to notice the temperature of your tissues, by which to notice the dryness versus moistness of your tissues. Now, traditional Chinese medicine, people who, for example, do acupressure, acupuncture, Ayurveda, at least I've heard traditional Chinese medicine people, they tend to speak in terms of also the dryness of tissues. Yeah. Ayurveda talk in terms of the humors. Yeah. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Yeah. Amongst other finer details similarly. Softness, texture, maybe even allopathy too. Yeah. Try going for say an injection. Yeah. And if your skin is all too thick, and if there is not sufficient, sometimes nurses have difficulty finding a appropriate vein. Yeah. That may also be, it may not just be from thickness, but also from how much fluidity there is, that and also how much moisture, and several fine details about your body composition. Yeah. So it helps, particularly for a lot of people who may be having a difficulty feeling their body, to notice your body in terms of warmth, moisture, and softness. Try paying attention to warmth, moisture, and softness about the region of your throat. There could be grief. I need to warn you this. When you're paying attention to the region of your throat, there could be grief, because that grief has in some way been encapsulated or encrypted, so to speak, like tissue memory about the region of the muscles of your throat. And this may not necessarily only be by the epiglottis. Okay? Could be anywhere about there. So it could also affect your thyroid. I happened to see a video that says when the thyroid is affected, tadpoles have a difficulty metamorphosizing, undergoing metamorphosis into a frog. Okay? Thyroid hormone plays a vital role in many, many aspects of our physiology. Human beings may be having a difficulty going through the Dashavatara Dashami cycles. Okay? We may have grown up into a particular form. We may not be going metamorphosis like a tadpole to a frog. Yeah? But from a child to an adult, our body goes through several physiological changes. Also goes through several shape changes too. Yeah? Very subtle, still in a human form. But not like a plant goes from a seed to a tree. Very subtle. Even after becoming an adult, say an adult size height, we still, when we are going through the metamorphosis, so to speak, the Dashavatara Dashami cycles, that's also when we level up, we show up in newer ways through the different stages of life. It's not just different stages of life, but different developmental processes which are natural to a human being. Yeah. And that may be finding a little bit of difficulty when our different body, different endocrine, different hormones are in different stages of needing improvement, needing some health maintenance. Some people tend to get old. Yeah. That may also be from regular maintenance required at different parts of the body. Nevertheless, it helps to pay attention to warmth, softness, and moisture. You would be being, excuse me, gentle and kind. If you noticed, I kind of burped. Yeah. But that's also part of how body releases unexpressed concerns. Now, I don't speak about this every day on a video. So what has been in some way held finds an expression. Yeah. So that's also how body maintains health. Sometimes above. Yeah. Sometimes, well, if you have been not sleeping for too long, you've been continuously working, then your body just tries to slow you down so that in order to maintain health, so comes up with a cold or a headache or a pain somewhere, and then you slow down a bit, and then your body has the opportunity to catch up, yeah, and then maintain some health, do some repair work, yeah, and then you'll be fine after some time, yeah. In this exercise, we kind of digressed, but we can pay attention to your throat. I was trying to take your attention off any grief that may have come up. Okay. Sometimes it could get a little distressing. It could go like, oh, yeah. Could kind of choke you with how much of grief there is. Yeah. So it helps to maybe play some music. Yeah, when you're doing this exercise. And if you find a grief all showing up, I recommend maybe just instrumental music so you don't get lost in all the lyrics and yeah, get all distracted. Because what shows up in this grief may also be important in terms of, say, insights, in terms of memory, in terms of what's happening in your life, which you may not be even acknowledging, and something is happening in the subconscious or unconscious processes. And when you are paying attention to, say, the region of your throat, and this grief shows up, if you pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your emotions or what memories are coming up, you might get a clue as to what's happening in your subconscious, unconscious levels of your mind. Yeah, your consciousness. Choose some nice, fine bamboo music or some water drop. Yeah, some little fountains sound, or just some instrumental music, and then try doing this exercise. It might not jostle you too much, shake you up while this grief and all of this comes up. Yeah. So it tends to be a more um, safer, at least something that you can manage when something shows up, say a grief or a memory or something that yeah, gets you up like that. Try placing your feet on a soft cushion or or a warm surface. Yeah, because you might sometimes it would. I find it tends to be comforting. And if you can get a back support that's also warm, soft, plushy kind cushion, yeah, that also helps. Because sometimes you could get into a nostalgic, oh, this also happened in my life. Yeah, that little soft support at the back would help you in many ways. Yeah. All right. When you're then ready, after a little bit of a yeah, you kind of you have a little idea of what's maybe kind of happening about the region of your throat, what you're not quite expressing. Maybe you will then reach. You could choose maybe an art journal or just writing something somewhere, yeah, where you can access. Not necessarily for somebody else to see, but at least you expressing it in a book or a page helps your health a big deal. Somebody else may or may not know about it, may or may not need to know about it, but you expressing it is important for your health and for their health or their sense of well being because you're doing well. Human beings generally would like to see other people do well, basically, essentially. So when you're doing well, there's at least they tend to breathe a little healthier. Yeah. Because we have people around who are all doing well. We are living in a well doing community. And we would like to live in a good, nice locality. Yeah. So you take care of your health when you would be among the well-doing locality. Yeah. All right. So on that note, we'll pause for a bit. And when you're ready, again, pay attention a little bit. This is like some aspects of it. There are some other finer details, but it's better to begin a little gently. Yeah. If you were kind of interacting in a one-to-one, then I would be able to guide you through finer details. But I don't know who's watching this on the internet. Yeah. And so watching a little bit of warm up is better than going through the depths of it. And so, yeah. So there are very fine, a lot of fine details. But beginning is a good step to already be getting weller. Yeah. And as you do weller and weller, your space gets better and better. And then you will find more avenues by which to express journaling, gardening, writing, weaving, cooking, singing, dancing. Yeah, having fun with people, or rather meeting up with friends and then being able to express. So we have a lot of expression opportunities. You could also make videos, you could write a blog. So even if you're don't want to connect with your loved ones, you could talk out to people somewhere out there in the world. So write a blog. For me, somebody from another country, they liked my post, and I was like, oh, good. Yeah. And then it became easier for me to express. So you never know. Yeah. What shows up? What idea flashes like, I can also do that. Maybe I can make craft work. Yeah, all my idea just put into as craft work. Who knows? People may like what you're making. And if they say, make one for me too, because they connect with that emotion or those sets of emotions, which then had you create that piece of art, that artwork. So try out. paying attention to warmth, softness, moisture, about the region of your throat. And do let me know how it goes for you, what works, what doesn't work. We will improve things. Yeah. Thank you so much for your interest. Good day.